Hey, Dan here, and in this video we're going to go into some ENFP job interview advice and answer the question, should you lie in an interview? And at the end, I'm going to share a very personal story about one job interview that had the potential to change my entire life, and you would never be seeing me here on YouTube. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, and here at Dreams Around the World, my mission is to help you become the best version of yourself, all while creating the most awesome life possible for you and those you love. So do consider subscribing. Now, if you are an ENFP, you already know that there are some things you are exceptionally good at, better than anyone else. And there are things that you are bad at, and there are things that you are actually pretty good at, but really hate doing. But when you need to do it and you force yourself, you get it done. And this is a dangerous combination with the ENFP charm, your ability to tell people what they want to hear and just generally be well liked. This makes it really easy to talk yourself into a job that probably you don't really want, but you say to yourself, well, actually, when I don't procrastinate and I do that work, it's kind of enjoyable and I get it done eventually after a week of hating it. And so maybe I could do this job. And then to the person interviewing you, it's very easy to be like, definitely, Bob. No, I could see myself fitting into this environment quite well, and I love repetitive tasks and paperwork. Really, I do. I love the consistency of that kind of work on a day-to-day basis. You can bullshit your way into that job if you want, and that's where it gets really dangerous. Because when you lie to get a job, you're going to get a job that was meant for someone else, not for you. And ultimately, that's going to lead to weeks, months, or years of unhappiness because you lied to yourself and you lied to the interviewer, and that is not a good way. So first things first, I am a massive advocate of honesty in all areas of life actually, but especially when it comes to interviewing for a job or figuring out what your career should be. And one of the struggles is that us ENFPs, we are optimists, and so we do look at the bright side. We do say, yeah, this job wouldn't be that bad, or maybe it will be good, or maybe I'll learn to love this work. But the reality is, if you don't really love it from the beginning, you're not going to love it a year, 2 years, 3 years in, because it only will get more repetitive. Well, 99% of the time it will. Generally, us ENFPs, we love learning, we love challenges, we love newness. So when you start out at a job that isn't really a great fit, you're still going to get by because you are getting that newness and challenge and you're learning something. But pretty soon it will fall into more of a routine, and that's when you're going to get stuck. And if it's something you really love doing and is a calling, even if it becomes a bit routine, you'll figure it out. You'll find ways to spice it up. It will be a pretty good fit. But if it's something that you don't even like doing and you just talked your way into it, that is going to be a recipe for disaster and a way to burn years off your life. Years you could spend doing something a lot more awesome. So here's the thing. Here's the hard truth. If you're interviewing right now or applying for jobs that aren't really a good fit, that you'll need to BS your way to get, then you're probably doing something wrong. You're probably going down a path right now which is not meant for you. So I would highly recommend, whether it's my videos or someone else's or some books, to dive a lot deeper into the life you want to have, into who you are and what your strengths are and what you really want to be doing for the next 10 to 100 years, depending on how things go with, getting hit by school buses and such. Spend time on that, because what's the point of applying for a job you don't really want and need to lie to get yourself into? And yes, we all have expenses and obligations and life is hard, blah, blah, blah. I get it. And actually, that's why I want to end this video with this personal story that might ramble on for quite a while here. When I first finished university, I was looking at what the heck should I do with my life? I had a psychology degree. I kind of liked marketing and business, and that's something my dad was in, and it seemed like maybe a good fit. And I didn't really know myself that well. I definitely was not the person you see in front of you now in terms of self-knowledge or confidence of just going after something. I also didn't really know what was out there in terms of entrepreneurship. I had no entrepreneurs. Well, I was going to say in my family, but actually I've since kind of realized a lot of my extended family are entrepreneurs, but my immediate family was not entrepreneurial. And so I didn't really know what was out there. So I was set up by a headhunter with this marketing job at a corporate office, actually for Scott's Paper, which at least in Canada, I think it might be in North America, is like a toilet paper company. So literally the job was marketing toilet paper. The funny thing is, the headhunter said to me that if you get a job at Scott's Paper, you can work anywhere after, right? It's that whole resume building thing that is just, well, it is what it is. I'm not a huge fan. But it's like, if you can market toilet paper, then anyone will hire you after that because anything else is easy. I guess that was the logic, right? So I went to this first interview and went through the process, and it wasn't a lot of BSing on my end because I didn't really know myself. So I wasn't like lying when I said I want this job. I actually thought I wanted that job. And then it went well. The interview went really well, and I got I think second, then maybe a third, but I remember the last interview I did. I think it was a third interview where the territory manager flew in from another city, and it was basically the final interview. The headhunter had said to me, like, I don't know what you did, but they really like you, and normally this job would be for people with like 2 or 3 years experience, but they're really considering you. And I went into this last interview, and it was really focused, I think, on, are you going to be someone who builds your resume and quits in that? And so the manager interviewing me brought up like long term, and he's like, you know, at Scott's Paper, we're like a family, and I've been here 20 years, and that other guy whose name I now forget, I mean, he didn't forget, I now forget, has been here 10 years, and, you know, that's what we're looking for, someone that we can train and grow with and all that. And even though the headhunter's conversation with me was, take the job for 2 years, then we'll get you something better. And that's a funny thing on a side note, that this company is paying this headhunter, and this headhunter's intentionally hiring people they know are going to try to leave in a few years, right? Side note. But he asked me about loyalty in that, and I gave him this answer, which I should have won an Oscar for, really. You know, person whose name I forget. My dad's been at the same company now for 25 years, and I remember as a kid going in and visiting his office and meeting the receptionist and knowing all his coworkers and colleagues, and they'd all come up and see how I was doing, and I grew up seeing him at this business. And it was really cool seeing that and just, you know, having that family. And that's exactly what I want. I can think of nothing that would be better than 20 years from now having my kids visit me here at Scott Paper. That would be awesome. And it's like, wow, okay. Left, and I got in the car and was like, oh God, what am I doing? I can't do this. This is not the life I want. I had that moment where it all hit me. A few days later, I called the headhunter and said, you know what? No, I can't do it. He's like, what? What are you talking about? This is an awesome job. I'm going to go start my own recruiting company where I find people jobs they actually want to do that are aligned with their personalities, because this is not cool, and I think I am better than this. And I didn't mean better like I'm a more valuable human, but I had all this great experience from university and all these different interests and all these different things that I could do, because when you're in school, you do a ton of like different projects, and I was in a fraternity, and we did like different parties and charity events and recruiting, and you learned so many skills. And then I'm looking at this job, and I'm like, I'm gonna be making PowerPoints and going to Calgary, and so basically it was, as I said, is okay, I'm now starting my own business and going to jump into it. And long story short, I ENFP'd that. I started it, had a business card, had a website, 7solutions.net, and it's not up anymore, by the way. But started it, nothing really came of it though, but I then started something else, and eventually ended up where I am. But really, it came down to that moment of decision that, to me, it took 3 interviews to realize, like, this is not what I want. But I think, what if after 2 interviews they had hired me? Or what if I had have given in to pressure of friends or family who said, hey, it's a good job. It'll look good on your resume. The income, the pay wasn't even very good, but the pay is okay. You can get a nice 1-bedroom apartment and a Honda Civic. What if I had have given into that? And now looking at kind of the life I've had, and not that I've had this amazing life, a few of those businesses I started either went nowhere or failed, and I went through some pretty rough times. Like when you hear those ups and downs, highs and lows, rags to riches, that's kind of my story. But I think of now my opportunity to do something I really love, to work with people that are a lot of fun and that I enjoy talking to and working with, and to be doing something that actually makes a difference in the world, all while giving me a pretty awesome life where I have lived in 7 countries and traveled lots, and it's pretty awesome. And none of that would have come about if I had have settled for a job that I was pretty good at, I could have got. It was very societally acceptable and people, liked it. It was an admirable position, I guess, selling toilet paper. And I could have lied to myself about it all. I can do this. It won't be that bad. You should sacrifice. Life isn't supposed to be easy. No job is perfect. I could have told myself all that. But somewhere in the back of my mind, I had this voice being like, no, don't do it. And that voice was actually so strong by the end that not only did I not take the job, but I started a company to help other people not take jobs like that too. And so what I'm hoping with this long, rambly end of the video is that I can be that voice for you to help you not take that job, figure out what you really want to do, and go for that. Thank you for watching. If you have not yet, hit that subscribe button. Join me here. I publish new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and would love to see you in them, and maybe continue to be that voice for you. Thank you for watching.